Last time out, we spoke with racing legend Willy T. Ribbs. Here's part two of that interview. Despite all the obstacles, as you mentioned, you had so much success on the track. You've become a legend in Trans Am, IndyCar. You also competed in IMSA, Champ Car, NASCAR, the Truck Series, now SRX. Do you have any animosity knowing that you could have been the first F1 champion and the sport would not allow you that opportunity? And if you don't have animosity, how do you not? Because I know that I would.
I don't have animosity, but I'm going to hold you accountable. I'm going to hold the sport of auto racing accountable. Okay. And we're going to get some things cleared up, whether you like it or not. I grew up on a ranch. You don't get your work done, you get taken out to the woodshed, right? Well, I'm going to hold you accountable, and I'm not going to be mad at you, but we're going to get some things handled. You can't go through life bitter, but you can't go through life being a sap either, and turning another cheek. Can't do it.
You had so many people that helped you in your journey. And one of them, I'd like to think, we spoke to Bobby Unser before he passed away right here on the show. And I think we might have actually been the last interview that he gave. I know you attended the memorial services in Albuquerque, New Mexico. What did Bobby Unser and the Unser family mean to you? They are so prominently featured in the documentary. And a shout out to Lisa Unser. She sent me a beautiful card from the memorial services. Miss Bobby Unser every day.
I have that card, and I put that card in my trophy case, that card that you just held up. I mean, I love Uncle. Of all the old school drivers, Bobby Unser was the one that supported me the most, that had my back the most, that defended me the most. And he's somebody that I would go to blows for in a heartbeat. Al Unser Jr. is probably my best friend of all the drivers ever. We're business partners as well. Al Unser Jr. and I talk every day. And so it's the family has been awesome to me, and been very supportive, and I support them as well. And I carried Uncle Bobby's casket. I carried him at the funeral to his grave. All right. That was the biggest honor that I could ever have.
Tremendous honor. And Willie too, again, showcasing some cool collectibles, because I know these people are so valuable to you. But the Unser card here signed by the family. But this gentleman too, how important was legendary racer Dan Gurney and even team owner Jim Truman to your story?
Well, one wouldn't have happened without the other. Jim Truman, when I came back from England a champion. One of the best Americans to ever go to Europe or England and race, right? When I came back, I had no support. And I met Jim Truman by accident. I didn't know who he was, but I met him in the pits at Laguna Seca Raceway, and a friend of mine knew him and introduced me to him, and he knew who I was, and he asked me what my plans were, and I told him, and he says, well, give me a call and we'll see if we can't make it work. And it was Truman that put me in a racing car that got me noticed by Paul Newman, and then after that, the rest is history.
Amazing story in the documentary. Definitely touching stuff. I mean, just the relationships that you built. I mean, despite, again, all the obstacles and all the people that really tried to set you up to fail, there were definitely a lot of people along the way that helped you in your journey.
You know what? That's the great thing about life and about people. You can never quit. And there's a lot of people that give up or quit on themselves. Never quit, because something is going to happen, something positive. With all the negatives that happen, something is going to happen. And if you're a good person, people recognize that. They recognize your talent. They recognize the kind of person you are, your heart. etc. And you'll get it. And it happened. And I had, despite the negative people that I dealt with in the sport, the people that tried to hurt me and take me out of the sport, there was those few that pushed me.
It was so great to be there for the premiere doc in Indianapolis. And word on the street now, Willie, is that you have a TV series about your life in the works. Is that true?
It is true. Showtime. And I signed a 4-year deal, 10 episodes a year. And it's just not Showtime. The producers, Brian Koppelman. Brian Koppelman produces Showtime's #1 show, Billions. Koppelman's producing, and the one and only Don Cheadle is directing. So, yeah, it's a great group. I mean, as great as you can get, and I'm delighted to be a part of it and help create the lead character.
Willie, you've been doing a lot of traveling these days for another sport. I know that you're actually into shooting these days. Your son is a professional in the sport as well. Tell us a little bit about traveling the world in a different capacity outside of racing.
I grew up on a ranch, so I grew up shooting, all right, with my grandpa. And when the season was over, I would, shoot clays, right? And I liked shooting and I liked competing. So I started competing, clay shooting, right? And going to tournaments around the country. Well, Theo started traveling with me, and he would go out and practice with me when he was a little kid and push the buttons. And when he was 9, he started shooting. And when he was 12, he started taking it very serious. And 14, he was full time. And when I stopped racing, I thought I was going to just retire and not do any traveling. I ended up doing more traveling with him. I was going to Dubai. I was going to Italy, England, Mexico, traveling all over the world with Cyprus, and that's just out of the country. And I had to travel with him because he was too young to rent a car. But as it turned out, he ended up becoming junior national champion. He ended up becoming K-Cup overall national champion. That's against 3,000 shooters, right? So Theo's one of the top shooters in the world. I'm proud of his success and his commitment. And he's blazing his own trail because he's a pioneer in his own right.
That's awesome. Awesome story, Willy T. And I hope that you keep traveling, because I really would love to see you keep driving. The first black driver to qualify for the Indy 500 in 1991 and again in 1993, finishing all 500 miles. Like I said, I hope that you keep racing, Willy T. We could use more of that Ali shuffle in our lives.
Well, I want to get Ernie Francis Jr. to start doing the Ali shuffle. He won one of the SRX races. In fact, he won Indy. Won the IRP race, and he got up on the car, and I told him, I said, during the beginning of the season, Ernie, if you win a race, you got to reenact that shuffle, right? You're light and skinny, and you can move your legs, because I can't. And so he didn't do it.
He was the youngest driver in the series, I believe 23.
Yeah, no, actually, Haley Deegan was the youngest. She was 19, and then, Luke Stenhouse, 17. He ran Slinger, 17. I'm 49 years older. Now he's a grandson age, right? But I love racing with the kids, and they're aggressive, boy. They're on their way up the hill, and me and Waltrip and Bill Elliott, we're walking down the hill.
Well, race fans, you can keep up with Willie at officialwillytribs.com. Willie, thank you so much for coming on. It's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Bobby C., come out to Texas. I'm going to get a shotgun in your shoulder. You're going to shoot some plays with us.
I would love that. I've never done that before, so that would be very cool.
All right.